Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul joined by Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia. Producer Zach is with us
I appreciate
as well.
Zach just straight up not panicking.
Yeah, producer Zach, will you lock in, please, for the love of God?
First of all, you guys were giving me, the business about not telling you. I told you 8 times. I said, go in live.
Producer Zach hasn't been here for, 3 months and then shows up and just hijacks. Well, throw Ziggy on the screen and let's get this thing started.
Fine, I'll just do
Week 3 of the
this is what the people want to see. You can see the books in the back. We've got the Leibniz Geschichte. We got a bunch of stuff. It's fun.
It's looking good so far.
You always look so sharp.
Ziggy does look sharp.
Unbelievably sharp.
Look at me and you here on a Sunday.
Look, we just won some big games
Big
today.
games for
Huge
Steelers
games.
and
Both
Vikings
3-0.
today. I mean,
Cheers.
big Packer win. The Cowboys. It's always good to see the Dallas Cowboys lose. We'll drink to that. The Ravens and Cowboys coming right down to the wire. I don't think anyone expected the endings we got from the 4 o'clock games with that one in Dallas. Then you had the Rams pull off the crazy upset over the 49ers. You love to see that. Detroit and Arizona got close as well. Just a really fun week 3 of the NFL season. We appreciate everyone. Right now, there's about 50 people in here, 55 in the chat. So, guys, please, throughout the entire episode, just leave some comments. We'll try and get to as many as we can. We're going to go through a bunch of games and just have some fun here. There's no limit on how long this show could go today. We might just run it straight into week 4 with Packers-Vikings.
Also, say whatever you want in the comments, still. We got some spotted cows
Ziggy.
here.
Ziggy immediately goes, I don't know if we could go for an entire week here. But producer Zach, he's got to get up early and do some concrete stuff.
Mention the spotted cows. We got spotted cows once again in our hand.
Hope everyone's having a great Sunday. So why don't we get into this right here? We'll start with the Ravens and Cowboys game because that was that was crazy there towards the end. I'm getting ready to come on, just absolutely rip Dallas, which we still might do during this episode. But a crazy fourth quarter comeback, 19 unanswered points just in the fourth quarter alone for Dallas, who ultimately winds up losing 28-25 to the Ravens. It was really the Derrick Henry show throughout much of this game. He was just the man on a mission, especially after you have to remember this, guys. Dallas worked out Derrick Henry. The entire offseason, everybody's saying they got to go get somebody. They need a running back. There's no one in that room. And Derrick Henry's sitting in front of them. They decide to not pursue him. They're stuck with Zeke Elliott. They have Darnold. They have, all this collection of players, this rotation. And Derrick Henry goes into Dallas, 25 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks like a total man amongst boys in this game. It was crazy.
This was a must-win for Baltimore. Like, seriously, a must go and get it done. For both these teams that had that type of feel. Like, Dallas just got blown out at home by New Orleans. Now they're at home again. Baltimore's 0-2. This felt like a game where the losing team is
in trouble,
almost a time to hit panic mode. Whereas the winning team gets a much-needed win. And unfortunately, it's my AFC North rival Baltimore coming out on top with their 2 stellar running backs in Derrick Henry and Lamar.
Yeah. Jack's sitting here on the 4th down play call going, I'm not going to let Lamar throw it. Dude can't throw it. And
this team doesn't have a QB. They have 2 amazing running backs.
I don't know why.
It truly is remarkable.
This can't possibly be the take on a day where Lamar goes 12 for 15, 182 and a touchdown. We're moving on from that. We're not even addressing
He's running back. He's running back. But Baltimore, huge win on the road. Dallas is cute comeback. Baltimore holds them off. And
there are real concerns with this Cowboys team. It is now 2 weeks in a row where they've let teams come in, and the comeback was cute, like Jack said, but they've let the Saints and the Ravens come in, run all over them. Just embarrass them on their home field. And people might look back on this differently now because it's a 3-point game, but this was a putrid showing, and I think there are real red flags in Dallas right now. You have to be concerned. Would you agree, Ziggy?
Yeah, they get a nice little respite, right, with the Giants and the Steelers. But then you've got a 4-week run where you host the Lions, you go to San Francisco, you go to Atlanta, you host the Eagles, and you host the Texans. And, if they still have these problems, right, if they don't have a functional run defense, you can't ask Dak Prescott to put up 30-plus a game. You can't ask any NFL quarterback to put up 30-plus a game. So if you're in a situation where you're just not able to stop the opponent from controlling the game, you can get away with this against the Browns, right? Because they have Deshaun Watson and a bunch of nobodies. All those teams, the teams the Cowboys want to be contenders with, are different. And when you've got a first-place schedule, you're playing a lot of tough teams, and you're in a division where you don't win it for free. I do think it's time to start getting really nervous that this Dallas team might not be able to live up to what they were hoping for.
Well, Jack, remember part of it, too, is we were talking about Dallas beating the Browns, how impressive that was week 1. Maybe the Browns just stink. The Browns might just be horrible.
I just sent a text in our group chat about an hour ago that week 1 was just like the second worst team in the league beating the worst team in the league. That's all it was. But Dak Prescott for 3 quarters was horrendous. I mean, the dude had like 3 fantasy points through 3 quarters. And you're not going to... We want to see Dak all 4 quarters do what he did in the 4th. Not just come alive in the 4th quarter when it's too little too late. But he was really bad. CD was quiet. I mean, I'm starting to panic a bit if I'm Dallas. I seriously am.
Yeah, it's
to lose
not
2 in a
good.
row at home is not good.
We do have 2 donations.
Oh, we'll hit it eventually. We'll get there in a second. We'll just finish up this game first here. And from the Ravens side of things, Baltimore did come out like a desperate team, and they had to, because if you're 0-3, we went over the schedule they have. A lot of first-place teams, a lot of really good teams on that schedule coming up. You needed to get this win, and I think we saw the identity of the Ravens established today. It's a team that can run down your throats. I mean, Derrick Henry, for some people have been saying he looks washed through 2 weeks. I don't really know where that's coming from, but when he's running the way he did today and Lamar Jackson has this thing going on, this looked more like the team that played Kansas City that we said was the second best in the AFC on the opening night of the season. And I think they're going to be it's tough to bounce back and forth. You don't want to like go all over the place with your takes, but to rebound the way they did today, to show up, the defense for the most part was very good up until the 4th quarter. This was a huge win for the Ravens, who, in my eyes, put themselves right back in position to contend again.
It was big.
They're
because
1-2.
What do you mean?
What do we mean they're in position to contend again? They've won 1 game.
What are you talking about? This was a huge win on the road against a Cowboys team that,
No,
is
they're in a
struggling,
position to have a chance to make the playoffs.
I mean,
And I get that they
week 3
could
of the
turn it
season.
around and compete,
Do you
but I'm not
guys-
putting a lot of stock into beating a 1-2 Dallas team.
yeah, do you guys
Like, no.
understand too? Like in this division, you have an absolute juggernaut in my Steelers, like an absolute freak show in my Steelers.
It's week 3.
I mean, yeah, but what do you mean? Well, back in contention now.
I think if you're 0-3 with the schedule that they have, it's very hard to climb out of 0-3 holes. To win this game, in my eyes,
1-2 is 1 game better. Paul.
Yeah, it's 1 game better, but it's a lot of momentum
Yeah,
matters
I mean,
in
to
this
be like
league.
in contention. Are
Are you kidding me? Momentum matters in this league. You start rolling off wins, like they build on each other. If you lose this, you're 0-3. You're going into next week, and the vibes are down everywhere. The team's losing. Like, I think that this was a huge win for them, and I do think it puts them back in contention. Winning matters.
Not when Pittsburgh's in the division.
Yeah, no. This was monumental for Baltimore today. A monumental win.
I think Dallas might just be bad.
That could be the case, but given where we are right now in week 3, big win. Look, the chat's got to back me up on this. Chat has to. back
Ziggy,
me
if
up
I
here.
offered you $2
And they're
million,
not. Everybody's typing that Ziggy's right.
That can't possibly be it.
I see that.
Jeremy JB, I do see quote unquote Ziggy is right, but people are saying momentum does matter. I mean, listen, I'm right in this case.
I see Jack is more giddy and confident when he's joking around.
Let's take a look here. So we'll take a look at the chat real quick. Thanks everyone
It's true.
again for listening. We're up to 166 people on the live at the moment.
Flying in here.
So JK Zarada, appreciate you, JK. Another 10 memberships. I don't know why you're doing this, but we do appreciate it. It's very nice of you. From Eli Ice, he says, Malik Willis, Bruce Willis, what you talking about, Willis? Doesn't matter. Packers by 16 today, baby. Defensive battle next week, 2018 as well. I think, are you predicting a Packers win over the Vikings there? I'm not sure. I
Malik's
agree
better
with
than
that.
Caleb Williams, baby. Raise
From
a glass
Mercury
to Malik.
Road. Mercury Road says, is it true that in college Ziggy's nickname was the 2-minute drill?
Nah, he was the 1 minute drill.
John Exler, is it true that Ziggy's going to do an IG collab with Shannon Sharp as punishment for calling Rodgers washed? Jeez. Let's see here. Jerry James, Ziggy looking very bourgeois and tickle me, please. Man, you really, Ziggy, you've really changed things around here. Tommy Cassius, by the way, our good friend Tommy, he shouts out you, Jack, for that free. He said free win with the Colts Bears this week.
Fade the Bears every week, baby.
Fade the Bears.
Fade the Bears every week.
All right, let's continue this reaction. Again, please, everyone, keep leaving comments. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We're just going to go through the games first here.
My back is sweating.
Why don't we... Yeah, that's what happens when you wear these jerseys. That's
You
what happens
never-
when you wear
like-
these jerseys. All right, let's take a look here. So, guys, we know we have a lot of Packers fans. We know that we have a lot of NFC North fans who tune into this show. What else do the Minnesota Vikings have to do? What else do we have to do to be a contender in people's eyes?
I'm telling you, after the Vikings beat the Texans 34-7 at home, after they embarrassed CJ Stroud, I don't think anybody's going to be doubting that this team's legit this week.
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand after you beat the Giants, after you beat them thoroughly, convincingly, it's just the Giants. Then you beat the 49ers, and people are coming out. No McCaffrey, it's just 1 week.
They might be bad too.
34, yeah, they might be. They're good. 34-7 over the Texans. Over a Texans team that most people have in their top 5. Hey, by the way, not us. Not us on this show. Just saying.
They're not my top 10 anymore.
Our blind power rankings looking pretty good outside of Ziggy and that Chargers take with an injured Justin Herbert.
So
but
where-
34-7 here.
Where are we now, Ziggy, too?
34-7 over the Texans. Sam Darnold, we have a good friend. Our good friend Mike sent a text today, and he just said, "Are the Vikings unreal?" Mike's known as a jinx in our friend group. Anything he says turns to dust immediately.
I mean, he's a historic jinx.
Historic jinx. Crazy. He go back and watch some old episodes. He says, Vikings looking unreal. And I just wrote back, shut up, please, please. Oh, I actually kind of rude at me. And 2 plays later, I see Sam Darnold on the ground clutching his knee with 4 doctors around him. And I just wrote back, fuck you, Mike. That's legitimately, I said, fuck off, Mike.
It was
Very scary moment there.
Well, it was really funny. Mike texted back. He's like, what did he say? He's like, I'm sitting at home on the couch. It's not me. He's like, I don't control this. Like, genuinely, like, sounding like he's pretty angry.
Everyone has that friend. Everyone has that friend that when you're watching a game says something, you go, please, not now, not now. And that's our friend Mike.
That's him, yeah.
But Sam Darnold, so he gets back up. He fights off the Michael jinx, which might even be a miracle in its own right. 17 for 28, 181 yards, 4 touchdowns, big time throws throughout the day. Dude just looked awesome. Aaron Jones over 100 yards. Like the thing is, though, as great as this offense has been and as efficient as Sam Darnold has been, it's the defense. The defense has been off the charts. And Brian Flores, I'm hoping, I would love for Brian Flores to be the defensive coordinator in Minnesota for as long as time goes on. But he's got to start getting head coaching jobs because this defense is just flying around the field. 5 sacks. They're again all over CJ Stroud today. Turnovers. Like, this is a revamped team, and it's someone. Our friend Will came over today. And he said, "Is the Super Bowl on?" And I don't want to believe it because that's when I get hurt. But I kind of do think it's on, right? For 3 weeks.
Here's the deal, right? It's early in the season. Sam Darnold, big chip on his shoulder. Played well in a couple home games. And I do like this Vikings team a lot. But we'll have a different narrative next week when this team goes on the road to Lambeau and gets absolutely trounced
on this show
by the Packers.
Trounced,
yes. I think, and I've been high on the Vikings for a while, so they're probably the number 4 team in the power rankings right now.
Jack, why don't you just put on the Jordan Love jersey?
Well, because I'm repping my Steelers today.
Enough of this.
It seems like you're a
This is the
Packers
Vikings
fan.
segment. This is the Vikings segment. This is
Yeah,
our time.
I like Minnesota. I think Darnold's playing very well, and I like Sam Darnold a lot. I really do. 2 impressive wins. Today, more impressive than last week, holding Stroud to 7 points. I was blown away. Now they're going on the road. I think it's a tough spot. I don't think it continues, but Vikings segment continues.
I will say this, is I think what Paul talking about the defense is good because looking ahead, I think it's really important for the Packers that Jordan Love plays next week. Because as good as Malik Willis has been, I think he's been solid. Flores' defense is the thing it is best at is confusing and challenging single read plays, making it confusing what's going on, right? And Jordan Love, I think, has a better chance of handling that. I'm not saying that he will, but I think if you roll Malik Willis out on the Brian Flores defense, it's doomed. We're quick enough, right? You saw it. CJ Stroud tries to roll out of the pocket, gets hit every time, just about. I think it's important for the Packers that Jordan Love get healthy and actually play.
This isn't the Packers segment yet. Jack's playing to our audience right now.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
We're going to focus here.
Well, I tied this into the Vikings, right? It's what our defense is good.
What I want to ask,
also.
Ziggy, the fellow Viking fan, because I am very much right there to believe on this team as being legit. But I'm not going to let myself, you know what? No, I'll let myself go there. I'm really pumped. This team has been awesome. Are you willing to let yourself go there?
To the Super Bowl?
Are you willing to believe? Are you willing to believe that a deep playoff run is possible right now?
I need to see next week.
Okay.
I need to see what this team, because to overcome the Vikings curse, for me to believe that the curse is gone where we always disappoint in the worst way possible, I need to see if they can go to Lambeau, and they don't have to win. But the classic Vikings thing, Paul, is they win these games, they get excited, and then they poop their pants.
They're going to get blown out.
Right? They lose by 20 plus. You know that's the traditional Vikings maneuver.
They're going to get blown out.
The defense is making me believe. It's not Darnold. I think Darnold is good. Sam has a play. Every 8 to 10 plays, Sam does something that is borderline disastrous. Today we got away with it. There were multiple plays that could have been a disaster, but we got away with it today. And the defense is masking a lot of the potential problems when the offense goes 3 and out, or Sam's fumbling. The defense has been good enough to cover it up. Where in the past they're letting teams go on 95-yard drives. Right now, we're getting turnovers. Things are just going our way. We're knocking in 58-yard kicks off the crossbar or off the goalpost. Like, it is just working. And I know what usually comes, but I'm happy right now. Let's go to the chat a little bit here. Let's see what else is going on in the chat at the moment. From Koenig Reigns, he says, you guys should do Friday night Q&A live with special guest.
Oh.
I mean, who's the special guest?
Want to be our special guest, Koenig
Yeah,
Reigns?
maybe Koenig Reigns is our special
Why
guest.
not?
Justin
Why not?
Zarata says, Jack, I feel Hafley is the only explanation for the Packers turning their defense around with only a couple new pieces. Other than the coach, what is your explanation for the turnaround? This should be good. We'll get to we have the Packers and the Packers reaction.
I think Brian Flores might be the even easier case. But
Wait,
go
my
ahead, Jack.
explanation for the Packers turnaround?
on
Yeah,
defense.
He's basically saying, you know how you say coaches don't matter?
Yeah.
He's basically saying, how do you explain?
You play the Colts and the Titans. They're horrendous. Will Levis and AR. You say AR today, he's the worst
What
I've ever
about
seen.
Brian Flores, Jack?
I think the Vikings they were just hungry. I think
You think if I make you the defensive
Flores-
coordinator, CJ Stroud
yes,
putting them
I
7
think they're
points?
still super amped to host those big teams. They get up, they rise to the occasion, and they play well. I have nothing
Jake Davis.
nothing to do with Brian Flores.
Jake Davis not worried about the Vikes at all. Like, come on, man. Zarada also says, this channel has made me appreciate the Vikings do well. Not sure to get enjoyment when they suck, but admiration that he didn't used to have. So we appreciate that. From Dragons, what? How many defensive coordinators make good head coaches? I get it. I mean, I know that a lot, like some people are meant to be coordinators. Like, that's just how it is. But I do think that Brian Flores has done a decent job. I mean, his time in Miami wasn't a complete disaster when he was there. That team was on the turnaround before his whole situation came up. And a lot of these guys are coordinators before they go on. Most people are. You're always taking a swing. But I think Brian Flores' track record, you got to look at where the Vikings were before and after him. I mean, this team was horrible. And now he's finally got some pieces that are playing like a top 10 unit in football.
Well, no, because you got the Gink. You got Van Ginkel.
I love
Van
Van
Ginkel's amazing. Look, if there's anybody to challenge Watt to DPOY, it's Van Ginkel.
Koenig Range, Paul, Vikings suck very bad. Know the name Xavier McKinney. Yeah, no, look, I had the dream that Xavier McKinney won Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm starting to fear that my dreams are real. All right, let's go on to the next game here. We'll come back to the chat in a little bit. Again, please, guys, keep leaving comments, everything. Well, don't worry, we'll get to listener questions at the end as well.
Are you sweating, Paul?
A little bit.
Jack, you got it.
What do you want me to do here? You want to?
This is the
You
second
about to pop your shirt off?
My
on the
shirt
live?
might have to come off.
That's
If you do, I'm going. I'm leaving the club.
Yeah, if I do, you're taking
dangerous,
yours off
dangerous.
too.
All right, so
Any girls in this chat?
the Chargers and the Steelers. This was a game. Do you remember, Jack, when we were doing the
Towels
game picks? I
out.
said I do think that the Chargers are a better team than Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
but-
which they're not.
But I'm picking the Steelers because when they're in that building, towels are waving, gets a little crazy, and people start freaking out. Somehow they find ways to win. And, this is one where in that some way, maybe Justin Herbert re-injuring his ankle.
Justin Herbert is soft.
But you got the job done again. And Russell Wilson, you kind of feel bad for him a little bit. He injures himself. He's not going to get the job back and all. Like right now, it's not looking like it. 3-0. What's your confidence in Justin Fields? Is this a legitimate Steelers team, or are we just watching them beat up on, some okay teams?
Where were the Chargers in our power rankings last week? 3, right? The third best team in the NFL.
Well, that was Ziggy going off the
The
rails.
third best in the NFL. I speak my mind and I say the truth. I say what I actually think. As crazy as it sounds, I actually do.
And that's why people appreciate you, Jack.
Right?
I'll clap for that. That's why
And-
people like you.
As you know, I'm hardly ever wrong. Caleb Williams is the worst ever. Bryce Young's bench. Panthers won today with Dalton in a blowout. And the Steelers are legit. Justin Fields is legit, and you showed me that today.
And the Vikings, you said, would start off 7-0.
Yeah, so I don't really ever miss. I think the Steelers are a team who can go to the Super Bowl. This is the best defense in football in my eyes. A defense who can keep a game close with anybody they play. Justin Fields is perfect in this type of offense. Short, quick throws, hasn't made any mistakes besides one fluky pick today. A lot of good throws, got up the field. Defense is balling out. We're meeting at the QB. Nate Herbig, TJ Watt. There was no Alex Highsmith today. We knocked Herbert out of the game in the third. He's soft. Justin Fields is the better Justin today, man. And this Pittsburgh team is legitimately for real.
We
This Pittsburgh team
we
is
need
for
more
real.
people like Sarah in this world who says, LMAO, y'all beat 2 teams who suck. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, look,
hey,
I will say
fine.
this in
Go
defense
ahead,
of
Ziggy,
Jack,
go ahead.
right? I can't believe I'm coming to Jack's defense because I rarely do this.
This is
Well, you saw
history.
from the Steelers. I get that the Steelers haven't played great teams, But if you look at how they're winning, the Steelers teams of old, where you're like, this team can't go anywhere. And in order to win, they needed 10 sacks and 4 interceptions. This like happens sometimes, but you're not getting a million fumbles and interceptions every single game. They had what, 1 turnover this game?
Yeah.
Did they have any
No,
turnovers
we
this
didn't.
game?
We didn't force any TOs.
Yeah, you didn't force any TOs. You
had a
got
fumble,
some sacks, which was good. But like the way this team played, I have some confidence that they can be sustainable. And if Justin Fields continues to do all right,
Oh, yeah.
it's not like this Chargers defense is bad, right? They've got plenty of good players on it.
No,
and he was good
Chargers-
enough to comfortably win.
Chargers D's good. We got up the field. Fields looked
I know
good.
you outgained him 346 to 168. I mean, like, you know, that just listen to that stat
I mean,
right
it's
there.
easy when
It's-
Justin Herbert can't walk, but they still did it.
I mean, I think this. I'm going to say this right now, and I'm serious. I think they are the second best team in the AFC behind the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, you have to put the Chiefs.
No, I think we're better than the Chiefs. I think our defense is the best in football. Chiefs haven't really impressed me. I think Atlanta beats them tonight. I got to go
Chiefs haven't
Buffalo.
impressed you?
No, you barely beat the Bengals, who stink. You barely beat the Ravens, who stink.
Yeah, okay.
So,
this is where we lose.
This
the
is the best.
credibility.
This is the best defense in the league in Pittsburgh. You say lose credibility, but I'm dead serious, and I'm hardly ever wrong.
Oh, our friend Sarah, who I, so vehemently supported, said she was not talking about the Steelers. She was talking to the Packers. Hey, you know what?
Yeah, because the
Fair
Chargers
enough.
are
Go in.
Fair-
Go in.
fair
on
enough.
because the
Packers.
Chargers are a good team. Like we didn't beat a bunch of shitty teams. Like
No,
Chargers
I'm partially playing devil's advocate with you. I think the Steelers are, this is exactly who they are. It's a very tough-nosed team who, if Justin Fields makes plays, they're very hard to beat because T.J. Watt's an animal.
Yeah.
Your boy Joey Porter Jr. is a very good cornerback. I mean, they fly around the field, they make plays, and when you get 25 for 32, Justin Fields, 245 and a touchdown, like that can be good enough with the rest of the team to win.
Like, tell me how. I think Buffalo's amazing, but tell me how right now you can obviously see that the Chiefs are a bunch
They
better
have
than the
Patrick
Steelers.
Mahomes, and you don't.
We-
What do you want me to say?
We have Justin Fields.
Like, what do you want me to say? They
I-
they are the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions with arguably the greatest quarterback ever.
But
Is that-
and
and you have Justin Fields.
But did you see us flying around today in that field?
Yeah, you're very good. You can't possibly argue that the Steelers are better than the Chiefs. Like, it's not
I
happening.
think it's closer than people think.
Hey, how many games has Mahomes lost versus the Steelers in his career?
What does he want to know?
You introduced him to the
He's
league.
2-0.
You introduced him
right.
to the
His
league.
first game, I'm like, who is this
That
dude?
was
He came
great.
in-
I remember you texting
Yeah,
during
oh
that.
yeah.
But
It-
no, look. I thought you got a nice Calvin Austin III was great today. You
Yep.
know, George Pickens makes
Yep.
great plays. This Steelers team,
they're good.
they are a good team, and they're
good.
For all the crap people gave them this offseason, the deals that they got on Fields and Russell Wilson. I mean, I'm willing to include Russell Wilson there because at where you got him, have him as a backup. Like Justin Fields goes down, you're confident. That team with Mike Tomlin, I mean, they always find ways, and it's really, really impressive. Despite who they've beaten, I don't think they've beaten very. I mean, it's been okay.
We're
But
gonna host the AFC
3-0 is
chip.
3-0.
We're gonna
Winning is
host
hard.
the AFC chip.
Winning is hard. All right, let's go back to the chat here. It looks like Packernet Podcast said, "Let's get serious now. Tell me how good the Packers are." We're getting to the Packers. The Packers are coming up. We're saving them a little bit here. We got to play the game a little bit, guys. We got Mercury Road 55 says, "Whose love sack are you most looking forward to feasting your eyes on next week?" I think I read that weirder than maybe the question was. Whose love sack?
You know what he was asking.
I'm saying
And
I'm
the
looking,
answer is Andrew Van Ginkel.
yeah, Van Ginkel. I'm looking forward to the Van Gink sack next
Wait,
week.
I was
That's gonna be great.
trying to think of what he was talking about.
Well, Jack.
I'm like,
Jack's
I was about to give an answer, and it would have been
Jack.
pretty,
Jack was about to give an answer that gets this show canceled.
would have
off
been
the
pretty
internet forever.
inappropriate.
Justin Zerata, I don't always agree with Jack, but I appreciate his passion to follow his gut. Jack, you do follow.
Yeah,
your
I
gut.
stick with what I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
good.
mean,
it's good.
and I'm right.
Honesty is a virtue.
I'm
Jags.
right all the
Now,
time.
So is prudence.
The
But
Jets
honesty is a
motivator.
virtue.
I'm right all the time.
Jag's going 0-3 tomorrow. Yeah, Jacksonville is just. I was talking to a Jaguars fan this weekend. What a disaster in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is not looking good at all.
Hey, if Jack is so good, then why is Jacksonville so bad?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Checkmate. Game over.
Yeah,
Game over.
that I don't.
You know what? All right. Yeah, if we're kind of feeding into this this Jack episode at the moment here, let's go over to the Colts.
What else
and
was
the
I
Bears.
right about? What else was I right about?
Let's go to the Colts
yeah.
and the Bears.
Yep.
And
I'll do my best
21-16.
not to go nuts, but
21-16. We have the Colts beating the Bears, and this was one of those games where you're watching, and Anthony Richardson makes like his 7th or 8th just horrendous throw of the game, interceptions. I mean, just really, really bad overthrows. So like to the point where I was like, I feel like I'm watching Riley Leonard in Notre Dame right now. And not to give a stray to my boy who got the big win yesterday.
Anthony Richardson's at least willing to try to throw it.
but still, you're watching this game and all these mistakes from the Colts, and you look and you see, oh wait, they're still winning this game 7-3. Like that's how bad the Bears were as well. And maybe a round of applause for just how much the Bears have been stinking this season, because as an FC North show, we're happy to see it. At the same time, Caleb Williams, I'm really surprised with. It's still 3 weeks in, so I'm not going to the bust word yet. A lot of people are. I mean, Jack's been there since like freaking
Are
March.
you surprised? You're surprised?
I am surprised. I'm surprised that it's been this bad for the first 3 weeks. Like I was expecting a little bit better. And I'm not willing to go anywhere beyond just it's 3 weeks or too far past
BYU, Dan. Yep, thank you.
Yeah. But Caleb had a couple wow throws today. There were a few where I texted in the chat. I'm like that's a number 1 pick throw. And immediately after that, he would just have a horrendous read or an interception. Jack would write back, yeah, there's the throw. It's just this Bears offense cannot get going. DeAndre Swift has been borderline like useless in terms of people playing on fantasy. It's kind of a disaster in Chicago at the moment, and I'm not sure what it's going to take to really turn it around. Matt Eberflus, they're 1-2. Like Matt Eberflus, I wonder at some point this season if maybe we see him gone. But before we go to Jack on his continuous victory tour, Ziggy, I want to ask you, if you're a Bears fan right now, where are you finding the hope? Is it just, hey, it's week 3 and this has to get better at some point?
I think here's where the hope is you remember what Ziggy told you at the start of the season, which was nothing matters other than how Caleb Williams finishes the season, right? Set the playoff hopes, set the, we want to win a wild card game, set that we want to be competitive, all that aside. What matters is, does Caleb Williams look much better in the last 5 weeks than the first 5 weeks? And you can't know how that's going to go until the end of the season. Now, obviously, there are reasons to be concerned, but the NFL is hard. There are a lot of guys who have come out and struggled in their first few weeks and gone on to be very good NFL quarterbacks. So you haven't seen anything that should make you think that he's going to be a success, but the evidence is consistent with him ending up being a good quarterback. So you got overhyped. It happens. It happens to all of us, except Vikings fans. We never get overhyped because our expectations
rooted
are so
in
low.
reality. Yes.
Yeah, and you just wait for the rest of the season and see how it goes.
I love this. Matt Eldridge. If I'm a Bears fan, I'm finding another sport to watch. If I'm a Bears fan, I hope they need a shovel. This is just brutal.
I'm actually surprised he hasn't been worse. I thought he'd be worse than he actually is playing.
There have been, Jack, you got him. I think this is what you mean, Jack, because there have been moments where you see, okay, I see why that guy could be good someday.
Well, yeah, the throw he had today, Paul, when you texted in the
over the shoulder to Dunze, yeah, that was special.
But this guy's bad. And I'm not gonna rip on him because he's probably a nice dude.
Yeah, I told Jack, and hey guys, let's know in the chat. I told Jack before the show. I said, you know what, you could tell me he's the worst quarterback of all time, but just don't call him an idiot, or a moron. Jack was like, you know what?
Paul told me don't personally knock him, don't call him an idiot or stupid, but he's a really bad NFL quarterback.
And this is professional Jack right now. This is Jack at his finest.
What Jack is saying right now is true, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but and I've been saying this too, and I'm going to stick to it. I watched him at USC, and he was a great college quarterback, and his style of play when he was playing against San Jose State and ASU and Washington State and Oregon State. He's able to run back and pirouette and spin and throw the ball 80 yards down the field, and there'll be a receiver open. It works in the Pac-10. Remember when Dorothy hit her heels and she said, "We're not in Kansas anymore"? Caleb Williams this isn't the Pac-10 anymore. This isn't the Pac-12 anymore. These are real teams.
I saw a Pac-12 commercial the other day, and it was so sad. They were showing all the highlights, and at the end, all you see is Oregon State and Washington State logos, and I was just like, this.
Well, Pac-12's getting bigger.
I know. It's still pretty funny.
They might add Utah State.
He can't do all this. This doesn't work in the NFL. He can't force into triple coverage and get picked off.
You just say he
can't scramble around. It just doesn't work.
If I showed you this, Jack, guys,
we've seen so many college QBs who are good in college and don't pan out in the NFL. That's Caleb Williams.
I get it. I totally get it.
I'm telling you.
If I told you though today, if I said Anthony Richardson's line is 10 for 20 for 167 yards and 2 interceptions,
no touchdowns.
No touchdowns. Yeah, you got to be you got to be thinking the Bears win. Like it's horrible for Chicago. I know Taylor had 110 and 2 touchdowns, but even if I told you that, if I said that the Colts, that's what Richardson did, you got to win these games.
Could you imagine too,
Yeah,
like if you're the Bears and you trade, or you give away Justin Fields and get like 5 cents and a bag of chips in return, and now your quarterback, number 1 overall pick, is 10 times worse than Justin Fields.
Well,
That's the Chicago Bears.
I don't think the Bears didn't get Caleb Williams because they thought that Justin Fields, they wanted him to be better than Justin Fields this year. But also,
real quick, Ziggy, Foxtrot, Jack brushing up against drunk Uncle Energy there.
I'll at least say this for the Bears is, yeah, you can look at it and say they need to win. You also need to get more than 63 rushing yards, right? Caleb Williams threw for 370 today, and they ran for 60. It was 100% on Caleb Williams, and throwing Caleb Williams out there and saying you've got to produce our entire offense today, that's tough to win. And let's not forget, right? This Colts team is a putrid run defense. We've seen it 2 weeks in a row. The way you beat them is just run for 400 yards. Bears couldn't do it, and that didn't help.
And when you look around the NFC North and you see Kevin O'Connell, what he's done, with Cousins, with Sam Darnold, with the variety of quarterbacks they had last year when it turned into a nightmare after the Cousins injury, LaFleur, like Malik Willis was done. I mean, the Malik Willis numbers were horrible in Tennessee, and just the creativity that he's had with that offense. Ben Johnson and the Lions are kind of off to a sluggish start this year, but he's one of the more coveted coordinators in the sport. To then look at Chicago and see what they're doing when they have all these weapons on the field and a quarterback who is supposed to be generational, it's it's disappointing if you're a Bears fan and you have it seems like a pretty big coaching disadvantage in the division as well. Although I guess that doesn't matter.
I could be a GM, I think. Like
Jack's team, Jack would try out a team that might.
No, but like, what is it? I mean, I could have told these guys Bryce Young and Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, I wouldn't have drafted him. I would have taken CJ Stroud and
by the way,
Jaden Daniels.
And by the way, are we starting to like when do we start raising some questions about Richardson? Like this has been outside of the throw against the Texans in Week 1, it's looked bad.
Yeah, he's looked
the past
bad
2
too.
weeks have been just flat out atrocious.
And the Bears' defense is good though.
I mean, they got to win. No, they are good, but I mean, against the Packers, it was bad. Against the Bears, it was bad. Like, you need more. You need more from Anthony Richardson. I'm sure he's the first guy to admit that, but
yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. This is why it's so unfortunate that Anthony Richardson had to miss most of his rookie season. Right? Is we're looking at today was his 7th start in the NFL, and if it was Week 7 of his rookie season, you'd say, look, he started 12 games at Florida. He's going to need time. This is his 19th start since high school. I think you still have to look at it that way, which is Richardson is a guy who needs a lot of reps. And while it's not exciting that Colts fans basically had to mulligan on last year with like Gardner Minshew, I don't think you can look at it differently this year. He just needs time. And again, he has more room for error because he has so much physical talent. I still think there's a good chance that he can work it out.
Watching this game today was like, AR's like, all right, yeah, you guys could have it. Caleb's like, no, you guys take it. No, you have it. No, you take it.
It was just a comedy of errors. It was just waiting for someone to do something good.
Yeah.
Producer Zach, how you doing over there? You doing all right?
You doing all right, Zach?
Zach, just staring. Zach, throw yourself on camera.
Zach, give us your anytime touchdown locks. Give the
come on. We got Sunday Night Football coming up.
We did say somebody in the chat did say they've got $100 they need to put on anytime.
Hey, Ziggy, you see yourself? Give a little wave. Give a little wave to
Zach,
the camera there.
Zach, what? You hit Charbonnet earlier. You hit Zach
guys,
Charbonnet.
Yeah, everyone knows producer Zach has been fantastic this year on anytime touchdowns. He's actually been amazing. We'll tell you straight up if he's been horrible. Like, he's winning.
Zach's been
weekly.
amazing.
What are we thinking about tonight? The game's about to go.
I'm a big Travis Kelce guy tonight. He was at plus 130 when I saw him. Hasn't scored. Hasn't really done much. People are hurt. It's his time to shine.
It feels like a good spot.
Give me Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. All right, on the anytime touchdown line. Hey, we'll pay attention to that. Guys, you can also always go over and you can follow our Instagram, follow our Twitter, Paul Farrington Show. You follow us on Twitter and wherever you want to check us out. We'll try and give our
follow us on YouTube.
Follow us on YouTube. Yeah. There we go. Great job, Ziggy, for the CTA. If you're watching right now and you're enjoying this, give us a like, hit subscribe there. We really appreciate it. We got 281 people it looks like in the chat right now. Amazing that so many people are sitting around and hanging out with us on a Sunday night after some big wins.
If all 281 of those people gave us $1,000, we could get close to buying a studio.
True.
All it takes is $1,000.
No one
just like you.
No one. If there's anyone in the chat who's even debating $1,000, don't do it. Just don't do it.
How many of us and our 281 fans would it take to bring down Derrick Henry in the open field?
So, like, you start Derrick Henry on the goal line, and then you line people up on the 30, like a kickoff?
Yes.
70
like
yards,
how
and he
many
gets a head start?
does it take to bring him down out of the 281? Like 15?
Yeah, I think it might take like 15 people.
15. Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, do you see what he was doing today to people? His stiff arm is filthy. Absolutely filthy.
Could you bring him down, you think? If I offered you $1 million to bring down Henry, could you get the adrenaline to do it?
No.
You don't think so? What if I helped you out?
You know, speaking of adrenaline, there'd be an easy way to get some adrenaline in this chat right now, Paul.
Oh, what's that?
We'll get there in a second. Before we hit this Packer Titan game, I do want to touch on one more. I want to hit Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos against the Buccaneers because we have really been giving Tampa Bay their flowers this week, and for good reason. Great win against Detroit.
Not everyone.
No. Oh yeah, hold on. Great win against Detroit, 2-0. You know, the Buccaneers, Baker is balling out, especially against Washington week 1. They're just vibing. Everything in Tampa Bay seems to be going well. Our friend Weston Dell's down there. He's cracking pina coladas. He's ignoring the Bears and Caleb Williams. He's a Bears fan, but he's saying these Bucks, man, these Bucks could make some noise. They're hosting the Denver Broncos. We're 3-0. Let's keep riding. And Bo Nix says, not so fast. He pulls Lee Corso. He goes, not so fast, my friend. And Bo just goes into Tampa Bay. Beautiful, sunny Tampa Bay. 25 for 36, 216 yards, runs in for a touchdown. And the Denver Broncos, the putrid Denver Broncos, who everyone has been saying is a bottom feeder in this league, beat the 2-0 Bucks to go to 1-2 on the season. And this is the vision. This is the vision that Broncos fans have had. And it took 2 weeks to get there. It was a long, painful, 20 days since the start of the season. But they're 1-2, and I think people are believing in Bo.
Hold on. Is Denver really all that bad? Or are the Steelers just amazing? Like, they made them look bad week 2. But this could be a good Denver team.
Hey,
are we sure that they're that bad?
Seattle beat them as well?
Right. They were on the road in Seattle.
I'm not very confident in the Denver Broncos. But this is the vision. When you get games like today, and there might be few and far between this season, but this is what you wanted. The efficient Bo Nix, the scrambling Bo Nix, the guy who is pro-ready at Oregon. If you're a Broncos fan today, you are through the roof. It was huge. So, Ziggy, I'll let you have 2 parts here, and I want you to transition this. You're going to take on host here. Tell me why you were excited about Bo Nix, because you've been big on him the whole offseason. Then swing it in to why you were right about Tampa Bay potentially being a pretender and not a contender for all those Bucs fans who were coming for your throat just a week ago.
All right, this is a big assignment.
This is a big assignment, but I mean, you are the brains of the show.
I mean, here's why I think you should be excited about Bo Nix. Is the problem until this point has been they've had no running game, and Bo Nix hasn't known how to handle that. And I mean, Tyler Batty had 1 or 2 good runs today, but that stayed constant. What changed was how Bo Nix handled the situation. And Bo Nix wasn't relying on guys to produce for him, right? Like Lil Jordan Humphrey, decent player, don't get me wrong,
hell of a name,
but hardly an NFL superstar. Cortland Sutton, again, decent player, but he's struggled this year. The thing that was different was how Bo Nix approached the game. And rather than making some of the mistakes that we saw earlier against a hungry Buccaneers defense, right? This defense is not terrible. Bo Nix took care of the ball, moved it downfield, and when there were opportunities, took advantage of them. And you can say, well, Bo Nix only put up 1 touchdown and Jaleel McLaughlin got another, and that's not going to be good enough most weeks. They won in Tampa Bay, and that's pretty good. On the other hand, that's the thing I think to be excited about is Bo Nix was able to do a lot more on his own. Baker Mayfield, the biggest question all season for me has been, can he do enough on his own when the receivers aren't producing after the catch at a historic rate? And we found out today. No. I'm not going to say that's the verdict for the whole season, right? But the first 2 weeks, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans were producing ungodly amounts of yards after the catch. No quarterback had an easy time. You throw it 3 yards to Chris Godwin and he gets you 20. That luck ran out this game, and Baker Mayfield struggled. Now, I don't think that means the season is over, right? There were some bright spots. It was the Bucky Irving breakout game. But Baker Mayfield is going to have to be better if they want to really compete. And he doesn't have a lot of time because they got the Eagles, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Ravens. Then they've got the Falcons, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. So they have a brutal stretch of in-division games and some of the best teams in the NFL.
Got to win those games.
He's got to figure it out now.
We were just saying how Baltimore was 0-2 also, right? It was a desperation spot. Denver had to pick up a win. Tampa's 2-0. They're at home.
Oh,
It felt like a spot where they were just sleeping on them and took them lightly. By the way, I have the Falcons money line.
dude, this is cruel. This is cruel. We'll move off Tampa Bay here. We'll move off Tampa Bay here. Unless do you have a take you want to say?
No. What was I gonna say? I said no. Just feel like a spot the Bucks took them lightly at home.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I just got an alert from Twitter on my phone. I'm watching the chat here again. Thanks to everyone who's been listening. I just see JJ McCarthy on Twitter. Prayers up for 14 with a little like heart and prayer emoji.
Wait, what?
And I just went, I went, what? Like, what did I? And it was from 3:19 p.m. It was from when he got hurt.
Oh.
And I was just like, what is Twitter doing? I mean, this is a sick joke? Like, what is this here? We're getting ready.
Freaking out that like it was one of those things like the Jordan Love, like where he tore his ACL and no one noticed.
It's like the JJ McCarthy thing. We're getting ready here for a big game. Why don't we go into the Green Bay Packers win here? We're getting ready for a game against the 2-1 Green Bay Packers, the big bully of the NFC North. And I have Twitter out here, making me nervous that my quarterback is tearing his ACL after throwing for 4 touchdowns. That's just wrong. Elon's got to get on that. You got to get on that, man. Before we get real quick, we got to say Chiefs or Falcons right here because the game's kicking off. I am going with the Chiefs winning a close one. Kirk will keep it close.
I'm on Falcons money line. Screw the points, the +3.5. I took them outright about an hour ago. I think they win this game at home.
I cannot believe that notification. That is unreal. I might just mute notifications. Jeez. A few more of these, we'll start getting some stories out of us on notifications.
A few more of these might taste like taking off work tomorrow.
So,
a few more of these taste like calling out sick.
So
Am I right, Ziggy?
let's get into the Packers and the Titans here. That's what a lot of people in the chat waiting for. I will cheers you guys, and I will say, here, I'm not cheersing to the Packers, but I'm cheersing to the fans who believe.
Before we get there, you should read out what Jesse Schloff has to say.
Jesse Schloff says, as a lifelong Packers fan, I picked the Vikings to win. All I want to see is good competition in the NFC North. Go Pack, go! I mean, that's a beautiful thing right there.
Why aren't more of you guys like that?
That's a beautiful thing. I think most Packers fans are great. Most Vikings fans are great. It's nice to have some nice camaraderie here between the two division rivals. But I will say, last week I said this during the reaction.
Membership.
I'm not taking back what I said about Malik Willis' performance against the Colts in that he performed great with what the Packers wanted him to do. He made it like he didn't make any mistakes throwing the football. He ran excellently, and they beat the Colts the way they wanted to, on the ground, running 53 times. Today, however, it became apparent very quickly that Malik Willis was going to throw the football well. And he was locked in from the start in this revenge game against his old team. He said he didn't care. We know he cared a little bit. He goes 13 for 19, 202 yards and a touchdown, but everything was crisp. Everything was there. Like, he looked good on the ground as well. And I'm watching this game going, God, if Jordan Love had to sit out again, like I'm confident that guy could be good. And it was, hats off to Malik Willis who just looked awesome. So guys, go ahead. Give us your little give us your GPG in the comment section. Today you deserve it. Now here it is right now.
They'll come
you 100% deserve this win. Super impressive on offense, super impressive on defense. I mean, for a team that had so much after Jordan Love got hurt, that those 2 hours, 3 hours, really 15 hours after the injury against Philadelphia, your season was on the brink of collapsing. From where you were just 2 weeks ago to where you are right now, I mean, this team is in great shape, and I think all Packers fans should be very proud of the team that they have at this moment and how Matt LaFleur is doing, designing really creative plays on offense, and Jeff Hafley's defense is flying around. As Kirk Cousins throws a touchdown to Drake London,
Zach, you have Drake London tonight or no? No.
So, Ziggy, as the other Vikings fan here, let's hear from you. What were your impressions of the Malik Willis Packers in a routing? I mean, a routing of the Titans.
I'll own it. I'm pretty sure I took the Titans to win this game. I had this Titans team that's 0-3 winning the division, so clearly I was dead wrong about them. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me was not what Malik Willis did. Malik Willis had a very good game. Again, you can go and watch a reaction. I was dead wrong about him. He played well enough to win this game. I'm still not convinced that he's the best quarterback the Green Bay Packers have ever seen, but he's a good player. The thing that stood out to me was sacks. The Packers got 8 sacks this game, right? The transformation, we all believe, I think, that Jordan Love can do a decent job. We all believe this Packers offense has a lot of talent on it. The question was, can this defense go from holding them back to potentially being a difference maker? And this game, I think you saw the defense be a difference maker. Again, when the Packers score 17 points in the first quarter, they probably win almost every time. But it's easy. You see every week teams get off to a huge start. They let off the gas a little bit. The defense lets off the gas a little bit, and suddenly it's a tied game, right? I mean, you saw this with the Ravens-Cowboys game. It didn't end up tied, but it got very, very close. The Packers defense didn't do that.
And the Titans had chances too. The Titans had their chances to get back into it.
Yeah, 8. But when you got 8 sacks, a fumble, 2 forced interceptions, the defense was really good. Like, this is what Jeff Hafley had the vision of, right? This is why you bring him in, as you say, we want to get more aggressive. We want a safeties that can roam the field. We want a defensive line that's able to get after guys. So that if our quarterback scores 30 points, great, the game won't be close. And if he doesn't, we can still be in it.
It was great all around.
We go back to our week 3 preview show, and you can look back. Myself, again, who's never wrong, says this is the game that Malik Willis will ball out. He's coming back to Tennessee, a team who thought he was absolute garbage, the team we drafted him. I mean, he 100% wanted to show up and do what he did in this type of game. And I think the team as a whole, the defense and everybody else, was just that much better as well and rose to the occasion for him. I think it was a good team win. I think he was awesome. And hey, Packers fans, I don't know, man. I might rather have Malik going forward than Jordan Love.
Dude, Malik Willis
Tell me
today,
if I'm wrong, man.
Malik Willis earned himself millions and millions of dollars today.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody in Green Bay, including that coaching staff, now that Jordan Love's going to come back, they all say, hey, we believe in this guy. If we need him for a few games, he's done it. He's won. He's 2-0. You know, and today was convincing. It wasn't even like it wasn't fluky. There wasn't pick sixes or fumble recoveries. Like, this was an ass whooping. And you got to be confident. I talked about the graphic in the reaction show that I saw, and I still just can't believe what I'm looking at. The difference from Tennessee to Green Bay. It's all just 39 QB rating to 131.7 on the Packers. And, you know, that's the testament to Green Bay and how they do, you know, just coaching people up. And they do a great job there. With that said, I can't wait. As great a job as the Packers do, you want no piece of Brian Flores in this defense next week.
They're gonna kill you.
You want no piece of it. Hey, Packers fans, Packers Vikings fans, anyone, leave your prediction right now for Packers Vikings. We're a week ahead of the game. Big game. 3-0 Vikings, 2-1 Packers. Leave your prediction in the comments right now. I want to see how many people had the Vikings with what's going to be an upset win on the road. Sammy D, Sam the Man coming in, slinging it all over the field. Jordan Addison probably returning. Aaron Jones. You forgot it's a revenge game.
Well, running backs
You forgot it's a revenge game.
I don't care about running backs. So they don't.
Aaron Jones, Packers said we don't want to pay you what you're
I
worth.
think this is a huge win for the Vikings. We're only 2-point dogs going into Green Bay.
Yeah,
Mine opened at +2.
I'm telling you, I will be all over Green Bay -2. That's my lock of the week.
The Green Bay Packers looked at their beloved Aaron Jones and they said, "You're not worth it. Take this pay cut. You're not worth it to us. And all you've done for this city, all you've done for this team, all you've done for these fans, you, sir, Aaron Jones, are not worth the money."
And they're about to be right when they bottle his ass up.
Aaron Jones is going in there with a purpose. He's walking out with the sombrero. I can't wait. Look at these predictions here. 42-23 Pack, 31-28 Packers, 32-16 Packers.
Defective said 30-27 Vikings.
Defective. Thank you very much.
But with a Vikings walk-off field goal, so that'll never happen.
No, Will Leonard's the guy.
There's no chance the Vikings win a Lambeau.
I'm so pumped out. You know, all jokes aside, this is going to be a really fun game to watch here. It is a situation where the Vikings normally go in and will get their ass kicked. Last time though, we went in there and we played a hell of a game with Kirk, and unfortunately Kirk got hurt, but won that football game. Lambeau's going to be rocking. I mean, this is a huge game. This is a prove it game. The Vikings, I feel like, have had 2 prove it games now, but you go and win this third. Like, I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this, but you go win this game in Lambeau Field against the big brother of the division, 4-0. I mean, come on. Like, what else you got to do to prove it here? And if you're the Packers, this is Jordan Love's chance to say, hey, this is my division. I own you guys just like Rodgers did, just like Favre did. I'm putting my foot down. I'm back. And last season wasn't a fluke. That Eagles game, he looked a little shaky. That wasn't a fluke.
That was the field.
I do like the Vikings. Like, I think Minnesota will be in the Super Bowl. I just think they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose this game.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I think
that's farther than I am going, guys.
And I'll lose this game if we make it. So you're saying that if the Vikings lose this game, the Super Bowl.
I had you guys going 13-4. and I do believe you lose this week. But
You think it's a good game?
I think nothing get blown out.
And there is, again, Viking fan talking. There is the chance that like Sam Darnold will have the game where he just like falls apart.
I think
that
it's like
could
28.
happen.
I think it's like 28-10. But when it matters in the postseason, you guys get the pack back.
You think that like the defense
I
collapses
think-
too? You think Jordan Love picks them apart?
I think it's just a Packers spot where you come in confident, 2 big wins at home, and you just get killed on the road.
Like a college game, you're sensing it?
Yeah, I'm sensing it. What bar do you think the Packers party at in Nashville? Aldean's?
In
You
Nashville.
think they just went right home after the game?
They have plenty of bars in Green Bay. You don't
No,
need to go to Nashville.
no,
and
I
find a
think
bar.
they're
they were
getting
just
ready
in-
to face Minnesota.
they were just in
next week. I
Nashville
think it's
today.
strictly business.
You think they just went home after the
Oh,
game?
today. I thought you meant to get. I thought you meant like Packers fans this week. I'm like,
Think
don't
they
go
were-
to
think they were
Nashville.
anywhere,
Green Bay,
think they-
Wisconsin's got a scene. You don't get spotted cow in Nashville, my friend.
Ziggy, can
I'm
I
just
have
going to
one more
say
spot
this,
of cap?
Jack. I think you've got a bigger lock than Packers -2 next week.
Whatever the Steelers is against the Colts, yeah, we're gonna kill them.
Steelers -1 against the Colts. Rams +1 at Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like the Steelers.
Justin Zerrata gifting another 10 memberships too. I mean, that's super nice.
This guy's the man.
Slow down, man. Slow down. It's okay. But thank you very much. This is super nice of you. We hope you guys are taking these memberships. I mean, yeah, take them. Take them if you got them. We really appreciate it, Justin. That's super nice. But yeah, the comment section's been great here. 247 people listening. A lot of Packers fans. A lot of Vikings fans, hopefully. You know, Sarah's out here defending for us.
Any Steeler fans out there?
Probably some Steelers
Any
fans
Steeler
eventually.
fans?
Dude, yeah, we'll get there eventually. Building up little by little here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great week of football. Like the games, some blowouts here, but I had a great time. When your team wins 34-7, everyone knows. Yeah, you have a good time watching. I just want to say, too, there's two things really quick before we sign off here, log off here, whatever. One is on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. You know, our good buddy CJ. Remember CJ? You know,
Of course, the best 8th grade player of all time.
the best of all time, by the way, guys.
I
The
thought he
best
was
ever.
going to the NBA when he's in 8th grade. Seriously.
He could have been in the NBA in 8th grade.
Oh, he could have. Yeah, he could have.
Amazing. But CJ talks with us on Instagram a lot, or I've been texting with him, and big Jets fan. And he was saying, actually, Ziggy, he had a message for you. He just said, he said, what the hell's up with all this Jets hate here? After Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, for all this time, they go and beat up on the Patriots. Now everyone's saying, hey, the Patriots suck. Right after we all said the Patriots were good for beating the Bengals and good for going to overtime with the Seahawks, all of a sudden they suck now because the Jets handed them a fat L. CJ wants some answers from you, who he says is too big of a hater.
I mean, this was just a terrible week to be me. I'm wrong
not
about
the
Malik
Bucks,
Willis.
not
I'm
the
wrong
Bucks.
about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it was a great week to be me because the Vikings won by a bunch. But no, I mean, you have to give credit to the Jets for how they played. I still think this Patriots defense is very good. I don't think this team is elite or anything, but I think they're decent and can play. They can be a tough out. To go in and host a team that historically has owned your building and make it so the game's not remotely close. Does this prove that the Jets are Super Bowl contenders? No. Does this prove that they can execute at a high level, that Aaron Rodgers can still be the player he used to be, and that there's reason to have high expectations? Yeah, there will be until they play the Vikings in London.
I was at that game Thursday night at MetLife.
How good? On TV, Rodgers looked amazing. How good did he look in person?
Rodgers looked very good. He did. The Jets were impressive to me, and Rodgers, he was able to move. He looked very, very good. But it was funny. When Rodgers took the field, came out of the tunnel, it was a good scene. Everyone had their phone lights on. There was music playing. It was pretty hype. But Pittsburgh in the preseason is louder than when Aaron Rodgers came out of the tunnel. Can you believe that?
I thought MetLife gets pretty hyped. I thought MetLife.
Oh, I mean, it does.
Jets games is good.
But Steelers preseason was louder than Rodgers came out of the tunnel. And I'm serious. Can you believe? It's shocking, right?
I thought I was just watching. I rewatched the game after it ended. I was out to eat, and I just kept looking up at the TV, seeing the Jets, gradually build that lead. And when I rewatched the game, the factor that shocked me the most was just how mobile he looked. He didn't just look mobile; he looked fast. Actually,
Rodgers looked awesome.
He was. The arm was great. He was making throws that were prime Rodgers. But I thought his ability to get out and make plays on the run, that's the guy that you got. That's the guy that could win you a Super Bowl. And the defense, they were horrible against San Francisco. Tennessee, they had their moments. New England had been playing well. New England had been moving the ball, and they completely shut them down. They embarrassed them. And I think that is the team that you look at. I had just said that I was starting to regret my Jets to win the AFC East pick, and the Bills are looking really good. But if you get that Aaron Rodgers, I mean, that guy is. I feel like I'm really New Jersey here. You see me moving my hands a bunch. Like that's the guy that can take you far. And I was for Jets fans and CJ and these guys. I was happy. And you're right, CJ. You should not be hearing that the Patriots suck this week because the Jets made them suck. That was impressive.
No, the Jets were awesome.
And the last game here that I wanted to talk about briefly. There were a lot of good games. I got to give it to the Giants. Malik Neighbors is a freak. I mean, some of those plays he had today. That first touchdown was sick. Eagles 15-12. New Orleans. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I know I called them a contender, and I think that given how they looked, you had to say they were a contender. But then during the mailbag, I was saying I just don't really believe in them. Like I'm not there yet. And 15-12 lost to the Eagles today. Philly dominated that game in a lot of ways where they were just marching up and down the field, making way too many mistakes. Philly deserved to win that game, and they did at the end. Really a lot of good games. Carolina, hey, Carolina. I mean, Jack, good prediction there.
Yep.
Jack says with Andy Dalton, this team's a playoff team.
And I legit think that. I think all they had to do was get rid of Bryce Young, and they're a playoff team.
Producer Zach, I'm really sorry about the Dolphins. Just a bad season. Flushing.
Well,
Fins down.
Charbonnet.
Fins down.
Charbonnet
Fins
scored.
down, Ziggy.
Yeah.
Charbonnet scored.
Yeah. I mean, also shame on you, man, for picking a guy against your team to be the anytime touchdown. What are you doing?
Well, money's money, dude.
My team is in shambles.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, money's money. I
bet
bet
may as well try and, I guess,
Like
make it a little better.
Our defense was great today, but I knew our offense couldn't do anything, so our defense was going to get tired, and I knew Charbonnet would score because they just keep running down our throats to tire out the defensive line. And
it's a damn shame.
And if you see a money opportunity, I bet against the Steelers once against the Ravens, it cashed. You see a money opportunity, you go for it.
Here in the NFC North, the Lions got a big win 2013 over the Cardinals, one that they were in control of most of the way. Tom Monroe, our good friend who's a Lions fan, Tom's going to get mad I say this. I'm really annoyed that 2-minute warning situation got botched the way it did. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. They lose. They might go watch it if you haven't seen it. It was 13-7, I believe it was at the time. Detroit had the ball, 2 minutes and 1 second on the clock. The ball snapped. Jared Goff throws a ball that's batted and intercepted, returned for a touchdown by Arizona that they blow dead as the Arizona guys on the 10-yard line because they say it's a 2-minute warning. Go back on replay and watch it. And that snap got off. And if you're a Cardinal fan, you have every right in the world to be pissed off because that is a game-changing kind of a play. But from then on out, credit to Detroit. They were able to hold a explosive Cardinals offense through the first 2 weeks to just 13 points and get a big win. But Tom did text me. He said, I was not expecting to be more concerned with the Lions' offense than defense this early in the season. Sam Laporta got carted to the locker room. I don't think he returned. Not sure what's going on.
It looks like it's a low ankle sprain.
Okay, yeah, so I got carted off, but Jared Goff got a lot of money, and he's a little shaky right now. But a win's a win in Arizona, impressive. Good day for the Lions, but man, this NFC North is gonna be brutal.
I'm out on the Lions.
Really? Out on the Lions. 3 weeks in, you're out.
But you're a Cardinals guy, though. How does that make any sense?
I think this was a good win, but for the Lions to win this division and for the Lions to be the contenders they want to be, they need Jared Goff at his absolute best. Right? It's not enough for Jared Goff playing at 90% of what he can do. Jared Goff needs to be 100% for them to do it. And that's not at all what we've seen.
Yeah, it hasn't been good enough, but you do have to say, to be 2-1 right now, the Lions had 2 good wins over the Rams when they were healthy or healthy-ish. And then in Arizona, after we were all praising the Cardinals this week. Great job. Great job by Detroit to go in there. And Aiden Hutchinson continues to just be an absolute monster this year. I still think you could pick on that secondary a bit, and we'll have to see how it goes. But Detroit fans, yes, you got to be happy with a 20-13 win. And when Goff gets going, because I think he will be okay. When he gets going, that team, it's impossible to beat them when he's on. Because their O-line's mauling people. They have the best running back duo in the league. Amon-Ra's a beast. When he's on, they're unbeatable. And you're waiting for that. It's still so early in the season, Ziggy. I'm not ready to be out on Detroit. I still think they're very, very good.
Can I read a comment here?
Yeah.
From
Is this from Dakota J?
No. It's from Max Jaeger. He said the best defensive.
Jaeger?
Well, I see a J. Jaegar.
You're worse than Paul. I don't know how that's. When Paul is correcting your pronunciation.
Jaeger.
It's Jaeger. I'm sorry. I see a freaking J, not a Y.
It's Jaeger. I thought it was
okay,
common.
Max.
Jack, it's like you don't even know German.
I don't know German. I'm American.
Go ahead.
Also, I think it's Perrier, not Perrier.
Sponsorship, go on.
Max Yeager says the best defensive team this year will win the Super Bowl. Do you see my damn jersey, Max
See
Yeager?
my jersey, Max Yeager?
This team's winning the Super Bowl. You understand? We're beating.
Max Yeager has been arguing for several minutes in the chat. This Packers defense is the best in his lifetime.
That's who you're supporting?
When we play Green Bay in the bowl, when we get to when Watt and Herbig are meeting in the backfield 24/7, you'll see who the best defense is.
People are mad about this pronunciation, Jack.
Can I just read what To Go to Jay's comment was?
Yeah, it sounds like you're begging to do it.
I said Jay, not Watt.
Go ahead, man.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh, Zach.
LOL puking
Zach.
emoji.
I'm so sorry, Zach.
Jack
Alright.
versus Ziggy in a bare knuckle fight, 5 rounds.
Ziggy.
I think I kicked the crap out of Ziggy.
Oh man,
No,
Ziggy's scrappy.
I'd just take it.
No, Ziggy.
Ziggy
no,
would just take it.
Ziggy is scrappy though. I also wouldn't wanna.
Ziggy would talk you like he'd talk you into submission somehow.
Yeah.
He would argue his way into. I mean, he's great at that stuff.
I also just wouldn't want to fight Ziggy.
I mean, no. Look at that guy.
No, Ziggy's
Look
just
at that
he's
guy.
just an amazing.
You can't hit that.
I don't
face.
like. I don't like that comment.
Look
I don't
at,
like that comment.
I mean, like, guys, give a round of applause for everyone for Ziggy. Look how sharp dressed he is. I mean, Jack and I are here in our jerseys, and Ziggy's out here, collared shirt, little sweater on top of it. Like, who thinks Ziggy looks good tonight? I think he looks great.
I'm like,
Can we not do this?
I'm like 12 spotted cows deep, and Ziggy's like a professional. out
People
here.
have not donated enough money to justify being treated this way.
We can't have the Ziggy sex symbol comments coming in again. Those are the problem on this show. But yeah, I mean, there we go, guys. And the last game we won't talk about, but the Rams, the 27-24.
They're all taking
crazy comeback win. I mean, that was just insane. What is it, 21-7, and they're dead to
Can
rights.
we do one more thing before we go?
Yeah.
Packers fan 5841 has been asking a whole bunch of times who we think is better, Xavier McKinney or Jair Alexander. We ought to answer the question. That's like 5 times.
Go ahead. Go please.
I mean, I think. Oh, we got another ask. Yeah, I'm glad we're answering this. I would have to say, honestly, Jair has not lived up to my expectations the past few years since he's gotten that mega deal. He's been all right, but the maturity issues have been there. He's often had good play. He's often had bad play. Xavier McKinney, the second you put him on this Packers defense, he's a monster. I think you're happy to have both of them, but I have certainly been excited with how Xavier McKinney has played.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Jair Alexander is a very good cornerback who can make very big plays and has a very high ceiling too. I mean, that's the reason he was the top paid cornerback in football when he got his contract.
That's why he's winning Defensive Player of the Year this year.
that also too, like the name Xavier. I never got.
No. I was talking about Jair. Sorry, did I say
Oh.
Xavier? I was saying Jair at cornerback. Valuable position, got paid the highest as position when he got paid. Like there's a reason for that, and you need a good cornerback, and he could be like the X factor of that defense because without him at an elite level, you need a lot of help.
I saw that, Zach.
But
Horrible.
pound for pound, like
Whoa.
that position.
Mahomes interception
Yeah.
in the end zone. Jack is right once again.
Enough of this.
Falcons money line, baby.
How many times have we watched the
Falcons
Chiefs
money
play?
line.
I mean, how many times do we have to do this, guys? This is
Is Jack just right about everything?
No, I'm seriously, I'm right all the time.
Jack, can I send you my dissertation? Could you? I've got some problems to figure out. Could you
Sure.
help me on the infinite divisibility of
If anybody wants to, send whatever over. I am never wrong. Seriously.
McKinney's who I was going for. I think McKinney's better than Jair right now. But Ziggy's right. You want them both.
You know what I never understood
Please.
about the name
I mean, this is where the show goes off the rails.
about the name Xavier is how it
college
sounds.
or the name?
No, the name. Like again, like Yager. Xavier starts with an X, yet it makes a Z sound.
And Philadelphia.
It's not an English name.
Do you know Philadelphia is PH?
It's the Basque version of Javier.
Philadelphia's not F.
Javier also starts with a J. But like, come on.
Wait, Philly's not F. Philly's PH.
Ziggy, you see our guy Justin Zerata? Ziggy's a beast.
Ziggy, you are a
Justin paid
beast.
$20 to just say you're a beast. That's gotta feel good.
We sure
That's gotta feel
appreciate you,
great,
Justin.
right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
super nice.
that's
How many people are there paying Zach, me, or Jack to say you're a beast? That's really nice of Justin.
That's amazing.
But Ziggy is a beast. Jack's a genius from our Tristan.
Thank you, Tristan.
I mean, maybe you are. You are.
I'm aware that I am.
I was saying though.
You're
a
you're a
great
genius,
win
too.
for the Rams. Very impressive win against the 49ers team that everybody thinks is one of the best in football. Where do the 49ers? Are they out of the top 10 in power rankings? Blind power rankings?
The
I don't
Niners?
know.
They're like 30 ahead of the Cowboys and the Browns.
Are they like?
Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm going to text you a word and you're going to pronounce it, all right?
All right, let's hear it.
This is good stuff. Tristan says Jack is clip farming. That may be true.
But I don't know
we
what
are known for our clickbaiting and
What
clip farming
does
on the
clip
show.
farming mean?
Oh, good
What
word
is-
from
what
Ziggy
is
here.
Clip. Oh,
You got it.
xylophone. I'm kidding. I know it's xylophone. I used to play the xylophone.
Yeah. You know, Reinhardt gives a good point here. He says, wanted to thank Justin for the membership. Very appreciative. So clap up for Justin Zerado, who's really been amazing, giving us.
I think Justin is just trying to create some competition in the Pick'em League.
That is probably what's going on here. Oh, and next week's the giveaway week, by the way. Next week we have the winner of the league will get a shirt.
Very
Free
nice.
shirt. We got to get going on some creative ideas, guys. We need some more merch. We need better merch.
Maybe we can have some ideas from the fans.
You
here.
can check in our in the description of this video. I believe you can find the link to our merch store as well. If you want an I Love Love shirt, if you want a Paul Farrington Show shirt, there's a bunch. There should be a handful of shirts that you can buy.
My brother Jeffrey just texted me. He goes, "I'm watching the live." He goes, "Jager" with a laughing emoji.
Jack's 16-year-old brother.
Well, 17 now. It's just his birthday. the
Oh
other
yeah,
day.
yeah. Happy birthday, Jeffrey. Happy birthday, intern Jeff, who was promptly essentially fired.
He's also winless in fantasy football, so I don't want to hear his nonsense.
No, Jeff's just ridiculous. All right, so fun live, guys. Very fun live. We appreciate everyone who's been in. We were hanging around 200 the entire time. We'll have some more. If people, do you guys enjoy these? Let me know. Let us know if you enjoy the lives or you like the VODs that come out after the shows. I mean, I love the lives. I think they're
I do
great.
too.
I
I
think
love
they're
the
great.
lives
It's
too.
great interacting with everybody. It's a blast, and we're hopefully gonna do some. Maybe next. I mean, this is the week to really go all out here. Packers Vikings.
No, I mean
week
it's
4.
we have to do a live before and after the Packers Vikings.
I think that's worth it.
Is
right?
it a 1 o'clock game or is
1
it?
o'clock game? And people are saying it should be Sunday
Oh, that
night.
should be
I mean,
flexed. That should be. Can that be flexed or is it too late?
honestly,
for that?
I'm in Lambeau.
It's too early in the season.
I'm
to
okay with it
flex
being.
Yeah,
a
I
1
guess you
o'clock
can't
game. I'm very
flex.
okay with it being a 1 o'clock game.
Oh, 8 o'clock. You're dead. Yeah.
Justin
dead
Zerada
either-
gifts 10 more memberships.
You're dead either way.
I almost wanted to stop. I would actually like. Seriously, I would
Where's
like you to stop.
Justin Zerada? Where are you from?
That's very nice.
Where's Justin Zerada from? Where does he live?
Yeah, this is
Wisconsin.
great stuff.
I don't think we need to dox Justin Zarate.
Everyone's
We
having fun with
appreciate
the
it.
lives. Everyone's having a good time.
Well,
Yeah,
Justin for
no,
the region.
guys, it's really fun being with all you guys and seeing these comments and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lives would be
Foxtrot,
totally
fire
boring
Ziggy,
if it weren't for you.
fire Ziggy. Dude, that's what
I thought that meme
but
was
that's
dead.
the problem. That's the problem here. It's just like football now. You give these guys giant contracts. What are we gonna do? We just give Ziggy he's the highest paid.
I think
player in
I'm
the
living
game.
up to the contract. I feel like I'm performing.
I think you are too. But I mean, even if you start to slip up here, like, what am I supposed to do? I just hand you all this money. It's like
I'm like Jair Alexander. I can do whatever I want. You can't fire me.
yeah, I almost made a very, very bad comparison with Ziggy with a specific quarterback on a huge contract.
And we waited also for a while to give Ziggy his money. Like we waited a long time to lock him up.
We took him
There
for
was
all
a
he had.
holdout.
Yeah,
we took him for all he
we
had.
took
There
you
was a
for all you
holdout.
had.
It was great. It was great. Hire Ziggy, fire Max. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys, we appreciate everybody. Producer Zach, let's see how producer Zach, for all the trouble we had off the top of the show. Producer Zach's really good at closing a show.
Oh, quick, Harpoon Bakery. The Steelers are in Indianapolis. We'll win by 100 points.
Oh yeah, revenge from last year too.
I mean, you'll win by 7 because your offense can't score 2 touchdowns.
True, it'll be like 20-3, but we'll cover the 1-point spread.
Yeah, great.
Malik
text from our friend
Neighbors
Aiden.
looks like 6th grade Jack at Hawk Field.
That's awesome. All right, guys, we
Doug,
appreciate it
that's
very
so
much,
straight.
and we'll see everybody. We will see everybody for